Hey folks, coming to you with your video update for this week. You can see I'm outside in the front of the, you can also hear the bells ringing to let you know. I'm outside on the front steps of the church, just outside the sanctuary, because I want to remind you of a few things, actually three things that are all going on. So the first is we sent out a church-wide email, but this video is also serving to help spread the word, if you haven't heard it yet, that our session voted earlier this week to continue online-only Sunday morning worship throughout the rest of the month of January, and then however long we need to after that, until Mobile County moves out of the high-risk category as determined by the Alabama Department of Public Health. We're using their sort of categories as a guide. So Mobile County moved into that high-risk category before Christmas, right around the time we decided to take a 2-week move for the 2 weeks following Christmas to online only. So we're going to continue online only Sunday morning worship for the time being. Just want to make sure that you know that before you make any plans. You know, from October till now, we have been doing this hybrid model where some people are in the sanctuary and the vast majority of folks are watching online. Our hope is to move back to that as soon as we've had 2 to 3 weeks of Mobile County being in the moderate to low risk category. So basically when it's safe to do so, as soon as it's safe to do so, we'll move back into that pattern. But until then, we'll be online only Sunday morning worship, which means Facebook Live and YouTube Live will be the ways we're streaming those services to you on Sunday morning from the sanctuary. So just want to make sure you've got that information, you're aware of that. What that doesn't mean, however, one of the reasons I'm out here, we aren't changing any of our protocols and patterns for outdoor worship or other outdoor activities. So we have our outdoor children's ministry blast program and our youth small groups. Those happened this past Sunday and will happen in a couple weeks. Tomorrow, at least tomorrow from when I'm recording this video, our middle school and high school youth group will be meeting outside for an outdoor retreat on our church grounds here, along with the youth group from Mobile, from Government Street Presbyterian Church. They're calling this event Mob Treat, kind of like Mon Treat, but in Mobile. So we'll still be having outdoor activities. We also will be continuing to have outdoor worship services, and that's why I'm right here, because this Sunday, January 10th, we'll be worshiping outside for our 4 o'clock Sunday evening Vesper service, and this will be a special service that normally would happen indoors on a Sunday morning, but for safety reasons, we're going to do it outside. We'll be ordaining and installing the new class of elders and deacons who are beginning their term of service as church officers. So this is always a special time in the life of our church and any church. In the Presbyterian tradition, our officers are nominated and elected by you, the church congregation. And then they go through an extensive training process. They're examined by the session and approved fit to be ordained. That happened back in November, and their term of service begins as soon as they're ordained and installed on Sunday. So it's an exciting way to kind of celebrate the ways that our democratically elected process in the church works. These days, that's something worth celebrating when it works, and so we want to be sure to do that. It may be cold, it may be windy, I don't know, the weather forecast changes, but we want you to come. The other part that's unique to this ordaining and installing of officers is usually the Presbyterian Church, we follow the biblical tradition of laying on hands when someone is ordained to a new ministry. So what that normally would involve is those elders and deacons who are being ordained would be kneeling at the front of the church, and then anyone who's been ordained as a ruling or teaching elder already would come forward and either place your hand on the shoulder of the person who's being ordained, or if you're further removed, you'd put your hand on the shoulder of whoever's in front of you. It's a powerful symbol of the unity of the church and of God's call placed on us, rooted in the waters of baptism, but called individuals called for a specific time in this way. So we can't do that. We can't physically come, practice social distancing, and get that close to each other. So we've devised a really great idea. One of our elders, Andy Falls, came up with it, and I've shared it with other churches who will be using the same format. We have invited anyone who's been ordained as an elder in the church, and really anyone who would like to, that anyone can do this, to donate a pair of gloves, either work gloves or warm weather gloves, and donate those to the church. We've got quite a large collection that's already been building up, but if you'd like to bring some with you, if you haven't had a chance to donate them in person during the week, we hope you'll bring a pair of gloves to donate with you to the Sunday evening Vesper service. Those gloves will be held in a basket together to represent the prayers and the laying on of hands that can't physically be there. And then when we come to that time in the service, we'll take a pair of gloves and place them on the shoulders of each person who's being ordained and installed, so they will physically feel the representative presence of the prayers of our church family during that time. So it's a really special time. So I want you to be aware of that too, because it's unusual and it's special. Finally, as we wrap up, right? So outdoor worship on Sunday night, outdoor church activities continue. Indoor worship is going to be online only. That is Sunday morning. Sunday morning worship is online only. We want to make sure you have all those details. And finally, it's been a rough week for some of us, a rough week for our country in the wake of everything that's happened in our nation's capital. And so I just want to invite you to join our church family as we also continue on what we have long felt as part of our calling, our unique calling in some ways, to be about the ministry of reconciliation. That we live, we know, in a broken world, in a fearful world, and it's our calling as those who follow Christ, the Prince of Peace, to be about the work of peacemaking and reconciliation between folks in our own community and our own church family, and certainly around the world. And so I hope that you will join me in praying for our country. We've been doing this, well, we do this often, but especially in the wake of everything that's happened since this past Wednesday. We'll be praying for our nation with a particular prayer lifted up at the end of our worship service Sunday morning, as well as in our Sunday evening Vesper service. So please join us in praying for our country as we face this unique and challenging and difficult time, and as we hopefully grow out of this. And those of us in our country who are followers of the Prince of Peace, I hope we can model what true peace, shalom of God looks like, where all are welcome, all are lifted up, and all are made whole. Friends, go in peace. We'll see you online Sunday morning, and hopefully in person outdoors Sunday night for our service of ordination and installation. Bye.